Are you in love with football? And what about sports betting? Do you want to earn really big money from it? Experts of BetFac prepare dozens of solid and safe predictions with high odds every day, so you can win a lot and stably. Just sign up through the link in the description and punish your bookie.
Can hear from a couple of the Liverpool heroes of the evening. Jordan Henderson and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain are with Des Kelly.
For us, Stephen?
I think the word to use is perfect, and there was two sides of Liverpool tonight which impressed me. I thought they carried out the game plan as a whole really well. First half, typical Liverpool, front foot, aggressive. I thought Milner and Henderson were excellent. Regaining the ball and then really showing what they're strong at, which is counter-attacks at pace and then scoring quality goals. The second half, you're always going to have a time against City where they dominate possession and you have to suffer at times and really work hard for each other and empty the tank. But defensively, to a man, I thought the back four was stunning. The keeper's getting better and better. So I think Jurgen Klopp will be delighted, but he should be really happy and proud of himself because I thought his tactics were spot on tonight.
They really were, weren't they? What was wrong with Manchester City?
Well, they never got to grips with the game. We spoke so much about the atmosphere that there were no surprises for them going into this, but they didn't react. You know, they played quite tidy early in the game. We were talking about possession before the game and managed to get that. Yeah. But then this Liverpool team, their strength is the counter-attack. They're waiting for you to make that one mistake. And so that possession was slightly sloppy, and the times it was sloppy, Liverpool was so clinical on picking up on it and attacking. If you see the first goal, Salah was on the move before. As you see, he plays the ball here and gives it away. Salah was already thinking, I want to get in behind. Now, it takes a bit of time to get there for him, but he's already got that intention. Everybody else knows that's happening. Everyone else knows that we're going straight for the throat. There you go. They all move so quickly. They all join in with each other. The backup plays there. City, one of those where you start a performance slightly sloppy, everything kind of goes against you. You're half a yard away.
Just offside.
I think he may have been.
Tight.
As Rio said at half time, I think Kyle Walker, when it's like that and you've got a player the pace of Salah, who's so intelligent, he's bending his run there. The one thing you have to do is get running. I don't think you can take the chance to play offside.
Certainly not around the halfway line.
Certainly when you're that quick as Kyle Walker is. He doesn't need to gamble. There's no need. He's one of the quickest players in the Premier League. Just make the ground up. And that comes down to sometimes laziness. But when this guy gets an opportunity, as we've seen, he puts the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah. Tactically, Klopp comfortably beat Guardiola this evening, didn't he?
Yep, he did. I thought Guardiola got his tactics wrong. I think Gundogan coming in and playing, his tactic was to kind of overrun the midfield and gain possession in that sense. But they lost a lot going forward. And yes, they had players extra in midfield, but it opens up here for Oxlade-Chamberlain. And what a strike. An absolute thunderbolt. And yeah, he said he's been working on that. We never saw this enough in an Arsenal shirt. Since he's come to Liverpool, a slow start, he's gathering momentum at a great, crucial part of the season, and he's becoming a very, very important player in this Liverpool side. And testament to him. But he's getting games, he knows what he's meant to be doing, he's getting in the team, and he's got a game plan, and he's carrying it out perfectly at the moment. Yeah. I've always liked him in this position. I see him play against Man United as a 16-17-year-old for Southampton, and I thought, wow, he's someone who can get the ball and do what he's done there, break from midfield lines and cause problems. It's just about decision making and playing in that position consistently, getting to know it and learn it, and he's doing that here.
See him playing there in the World Cup?
Yeah, I can. I think he's made a big step towards that tonight because there are not many people that can do that. Players in midfield, as Rio says, that can open up a game with pace and direction and end product. Now, end product was always a question mark, and he showed tonight at the highest level that he's got end product.
Yeah. And Liverpool had plenty of end product tonight.
This is the Man City team being forced to defend now. Yeah. For many parts of this season, they've had the ball.
Yeah, we don't usually see them have to defend.
And we don't see them in this position defending here edge of their box as often. Laporte here, shining him inside onto his strongest left foot is criminal.
Yeah. Twice.
But today we saw Manchester City, when forced to defend as a back four, deeper in their own half, they struggle. They aren't as good as what we've been made out to see because it's been almost a false sense of security that we've seen. They've been up the other end of the pitch, keeping the ball, keeping teams penned back, not having to defend themselves as back four. They defend as a team high up. They're great at that. But back in their own half, on the edge of their box, very different team.
The problem normally is getting the ball off them to do that, isn't it, I suppose? That's what Liverpool did so effectively this evening.
Yeah, and Liverpool have no fear. They did it here in the league, they did it again today, they had a perfect game plan, they pressed at the right time. And not many have done that. So that they caught Manchester City by surprise, without a doubt. They made them go into areas, to drop to areas, as Rio said, where they don't like to be. They didn't get tight enough. Laporte's come from the Liga, different style of game. Here you need to get really tight, particularly against players like Mo Salah. You give them a yard, it's enough to bend that perfect ball in.
OK, time for another break. Plenty more to come. Great night for... not him. Scratching his head most of the night was Guardiola, but Klopp had plenty to punch the air about.
Yeah,
whereas normally he's all buzzing.
You should have kept the camera on him. He'll probably do about 4 cartwheels into the dressing room. He'll be happy deep down, very happy. It's the perfect result for Liverpool, but you can see straight away he's flipping to Everton at the weekend and he's not happy with the kick-off time, and it is very difficult to get.
I suppose it gives him more time to recover for the game the following week against Manchester City, the second leg, which is ultimately a more important game, really.
Yeah, but you know, if they were to get the wrong result against Everton, it could impact the top 4 position. Yeah, I mean, look, it's about tonight, and it's about Liverpool being excellent. The fans are really happy. I think he's just trying to switch everyone's attention to work to be done and playing it all down, because he knows there's another 90 minutes to play.
Ria, I want to ask you about Trent Alexander-Arnold. We talked about before the game, you said it's a big night. He's got very little experience. He's still a teenager.
Can he do it? Can he change the fortunes? Could he change the fortunes of the last couple of games where he made mistakes? He went away, done his homework, and the kid came good today. He was fantastic. Everything about him today, tenacious, he was disciplined, he concentrated, and he done everything right. And bearing in mind he's up against Sane, probably the most informed winger in the league at the moment, and he had him in his pocket. He was fantastic in everything he done. Also even going forward on the ball, but defending wise, didn't give him a moment's peace. Out there, done everything you could ask as a fullback. And 19 years old, in a game of this magnitude, Champions League, live on, in front of millions, to put in a performance like that, bearing in mind the mistakes he'd made in previous games, fantastic. Mentality, huge. Which is
such an important feature, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
And Gareth Southgate was watching, Frank.
Yeah, and he can be nothing but impressed. How great to see youth take on a challenge like this. The mentality of the boy to do that, with a little bit of pressure on him because of recent performances, everything. And even not just all that great positional play, getting close to Sane, running with him, being in the right position, but that little, there was one where he got his fist and he was pumped. You know, a 19-year-old boy, all of a sudden he's becoming a man, because when you perform like that on this occasion, as big as this, it makes you feel like that.
Certainly does. I suppose if there was a downside, it's the Mo Salah injury. Didn't appear like they were overly concerned about it from the words that Klopp was saying after the game.
No, and I think, you know, my experience from injuries, if you've got a big issue, you go straight down the tunnel and you get ice on it straight away, and the physios get to work. So hopefully, from a Liverpool point of view, it's not a serious problem, and he's just being sensible with a bit of tightness, and he can be fit and available quick as possible, because he is key to Liverpool winning trophies in the future.
Can't really do without him.
They can't. Well, we know how key he is, but I'm a bit worried about that. If you're a Liverpool fan or Mo Salah there, I think when you pull up with those little, how much the way he plays his game on the edge, and he's twisting and turning, the pace that's in his game, if there is an issue there, it's going to be quite hard to recover in a week's time.
Okay, tough night for Pep Guardiola. Let's hear from him. He's with Des.
To try. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. A couple of decisions went his way, but did he get a couple of decisions wrong? Perhaps Laporte, Gundogan?
Yeah, well, I think Gundogan, playing... I remember playing myself occasionally on the right side of the field, and it didn't suit me at all. I didn't have the legs. I ended up caught between trying to get close to Robertson, say, tonight, and trying to get involved in midfield play, and I ended up doing neither. And I think that Gundogan would have hated that first half. I don't think that's his natural instinct. He wants to play centrally, he wants to get ball possession. He didn't have that. And it took a lot out of Manchester City's game. The attacking threat was all about Sane on the left wing, and because Alexander Trent, he dealt with him so well and got so tight, the other threats weren't there.
Yeah, I suppose it's hard to be too critical of Pep Guardiola. He's largely got things right.
Yeah, and there's not too many times where you see he comes off second best in a duel with another manager, and tactically today I thought he did. But he said it in his pre-match interview beforehand. Yes, we're good at attacking, but you have to be able to defend at this level. And today I think we saw maybe a weakness that we've been talking about before, but wasn't highlighted so much this season because of the way they've played today, and their defence have been a weakness today.
Is this done and dusted?
No, because City are
Come
more...
on, Steve, it is.
Oh,
Come
listen,
on.
You've got fancy Liverpool to score away from home.
No, but if you get an early goal, if Aguero's
Yeah,
back, you know, you never write this City off and Guardiola off. It's half-time. Of course, Liverpool have got 1 foot in the semi-final. Liverpool will be thrilled with that result. City never got the run of the ball or the little bits of luck that you need away from home in the Champions League tonight, and I thought they lacked a little bit of quality in the final third, but at home they're more than capable of creating enough chances to go and hurt Liverpool by 3 goals.
Yeah, you talked about them not getting any breaks this evening. We can talk to Chris Foy now, who's in our truck down here at Anfield. Chris, couple of little decisions to look at. Certainly the first goal. Did you feel that it was just offside?
Yeah, it's a really tight call, and you talk about fine margins, but it is offside, and the difficulty is Mo Salah is fractionally offside, but the assistant referee is slightly out of position. If he was in line with the second rearmost defender, he would have picked that up, and you can see when you look at a still, he was offside, so the flag should have gone up for that. Yeah,
I don't know whether to say this or not. Do you think VAR would have turned that one round?
Goodness me, we keep talking about VAR, don't we? But obviously a goal is, a goal scored, and they'll check that, and then you'd start talking about attacking phases of play and how far do you take it back. So this is an interesting one, the Man City goal. I think the assistant's got this right. He had a lot of tight calls tonight, and he was fractionally offside. So that one was right, but again, a really tight call.
Very, very tight indeed. Overall, do you think the referee had a decent game?
Well, he's one of the best. He's going to the World Cup, and we were looking at another decision now with Andrew Robertson on Raheem Sterling, and we've got an additional assistant behind the goal who doesn't pick this up, but if you see in slow motion, it's actually a foul, and a penalty kick should have been awarded. Now, the additional assistant behind the goal doesn't have the angles we have a look at, and you'll see it in a second. There's another clear angle where he trips him, and they were unfortunate there, Man City, for they should have been awarded a penalty, but I think the referee's done a pretty good job in the main.